Well, it felt like we were a band about the second or third day we were in the studio doing the first record. I mean, we only all met on, we met on like a Friday afternoon. I met Hunt and Tony. I'd known David. And we went in the studio the next day and did Heavens and Here, which was the first track on the first record. So it was sort of became obvious that musically there was sort of a rapport, a band rapport.
But as far as preparation go, I mean, that's something that we really held to be something that we didn't want to get involved with. I mean, we don't ever prepare anything before we go in the studio.
We don't demo songs, we don't...
No, it really does take away the immediacy of the material, you know?
Light of heaven, two reflections on the sparkling water, hand in hand in love with love. However cheap things that you say, you belong in rock and roll. You belong in rock and roll. You belong in rock and roll. So do I.
Yeah, actually, before we started the first album, before Hunt and I had met Reeves, Hunt and David and I had gotten together in Los Angeles to just throw some ideas out, you know, to play. And we turned a tape recorder on and recorded a whole bunch of stuff that we were very happy with. And then we went over to the tape recorder about 3 hours later, and it hadn't been working. So that was the beginning of...
That was our first kind of album.
How the bad look at you bring. You belong in rock and roll. You belong in rock and roll. You belong in rock and roll. Well, so do I. Alone on the main street, it makes me feel on fire, on fire, on fire, on fire, on fire.
Were you guys surprised when your LP cover was censored here in the States?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually we were.
Not really. I wasn't.
Well, it was censored in his home. That's why he
Hunt
was.
feels the cover's obscene.
There's nothing dirty. There's nothing dirty or filthy or pornographic about sex unless you're doing it right. But I figured that if we had a cover with, that's okay, I'll be over soon. I figured, but no spacesuits. I figured that, come on, get all yourself. He's so depressed these days. I feel that if
trying to simmer up.
Right, if we had put a cover together that had women in bondage, you know, and situations like that, they would have gone fine.
Why didn't we do that?
I mean,
I know, but I mean,
I don't know why we didn't do that.
I think David's, David, when we had a discussion right before when we were getting some slack, David being from Europe, in Europe it's natural to go down the street and see statues.
And go and look for a nude.
And go look for a nude in Amsterdam. No, but and statues and things there and civic centers, it's no big deal. But here, a statue would be
It really
on a
isn't,
horse, or you don't see Greek statues.
It really isn't a big deal in Europe.
Cheap street in your war.
In every moral walk of life here, I mean, just even like recently, the last day or so, you get a situation where, say, Pee-wee, who's like pulled for indecent exposure, and his entire career has been totally sabotaged and wrecked. All his sponsors have been withdrawn, his dolls have been withdrawn, his show's been killed. You got Tyson, who's on a rape charge and is going to court. His fight is still on. No sponsors have dropped out that. Now, I don't get it. You know, how's that work exactly?
I think there's a thread.
How's that work?
There's a thread of homophobia through that.
Oh, there is definitely.
You know, from us to Pee-wee.
I mean, Tyson's playing.
Whereas Tyson just, you know, it was a woman. So hey, you know, it's a woman.
Yeah.
We did a video for One Shot.
The song was about a guy who, with the greatest reluctance, has to shoot his wife because he's fed up with her. And but he does look back on some of the good times they had. And the
Being a romantic.
well, that's the romantic side of it.
Last days were the realest days of our lives. You threw me to pieces. I started to cry. One thing led to a dead end. One shot put her away. Hey.
I've been into your stuff since '86, '87.
Go on here.
Yeah, the
I'm
old
proud
stuff.
of you. You really, you stuck it out through the bad times.
Yes,
and the
I
good.
did. Through the bad, the good,
And the ugly.
and the ugly. Not to mention the
I told you not to mention
Tepid.
the
That tepid
yeah.
period.
The tepid.
yeah. That
I
tepid
thought I
period.
produced some of my most mediocre work during the tepid.
You know, I never missed one of his gigs every time he toured. I never went to see him, so I never missed him.
Is that true?
So
What was your question?
Led to a dead end. One shot put her away. One day nothing but nothing.
When do you think's been the biggest change in the business itself during that time?
In the biz? In the biz?
In the biz.
I think the slowly evolving fact that it's now that the music side of things has really become a career opportunity. I mean, the approach of a lot of the younger people when they go into the music side of things is very different from how I remember being involved. They see it as a means to
Make it.
good suits and good cars far more than well, I never even thought about good suits. They just happened.
Or cars.
Yes, but think how
Cars.
the past few days have been spent.
Yeah.
Buying suits and cars.
Cars.
I know. Well, I'm just a modern kind of guy. But I remember when I was just excited by the pure idea of working live on stage, and I think a lot of them really think about when they're going to do their first video. I mean, the video is like the major kind of thing. Yeah, the sensibilities changed a lot.
You hear people going, I wrote this song because it would make a great video.
Yeah, you do.
It's like-
And I would to hear kids say, "Have you seen their new single yet?" And it's like, it's like kind of weird to me.
It's a day-to-day proposition.
We do it as long as we enjoy it and we're amused by it and we feel like we're making something that speaks for us.
And at the same time, we're not contractually obligated to, in 5 months we better start on the next record. You know what I mean? When we get around, and if we get around to the next record, then we will get around to doing it. But we're just taking it. We have this record coming out and this tour, and that's about as far up the road as we want to,
And
think about.
that's for us. It's still that's exciting.